Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know what? The NFL, they are smart. They know how to do this shit. Only the NFL could literally make this whole week a buzz. They literally made the whole week a buzz with just releasing the schedule. The way they go through and they first announce, home and away games. Literally. You got the schedule, then home and away games, and now the actual schedule. They have built up so much hype for all of these things. It's just insane. And so, we had, of course, on Monday, Cowboys-Eagles season opener. We had Jerry Jones talking, couple weeks ago how he wanted the Eagles week 1. They just made this the biggest hype train out there. And the way they've been just leaking for, Monday and Tuesday and today, all of the schedule, it's literally insane. Now, here's what we have. I'm on my way to a meeting, and fortunately we've got the Cowboys before the show. At least this is what it sounds like right now, and I'm going to try and go through these with you before I get to my meeting. Now, we all know week 1 we have the Eagles, okay? Now, that is a game that I think is pivotal for a couple reasons. I think the Cowboys, you have to at least show up. We cannot have a mollywhopping like we've had, okay? Those games we had last year, you can't get blown out. If the Cowboys can at least show up and make it a competitive game, I think that begins making and establishing the team, because nobody's going to expect the Cowboys to win that game. Nobody's going to. Other than us Cowboy fans, nobody else is. But that game is critical. Now, for the Eagles, man, they got murderer's row early, and they could be in trouble in the first couple of games, because we got Cowboys, they got Kansas City the next week, the Rams after that. They've got literally hard game after hard game after hard game. So we start out there with the Eagles, of course, being on Thursday night. It's kind of like a bye week almost, a mini bye week. And then we take on the Giants, okay? Now, of course, we take on the Giants, at home. And playing the Giants, you should be able to take care of the Giants. After that, we play the Bears, and I think you got a good chance of beating the Bears there. If you somehow get lucky and beat the Eagles, man, you have gotten so much confidence right then and there that maybe you roll into 3-0. Okay, now, before everybody starts killing me, remember what I first said. You just need that game to at least be a credible game. And then you've got 2 winnable games after that. After the Bears and the Giants, you got the Packers. And the Packers, of course, always seem to own you and so on. But conceivably, worst case scenario, you should start out 2-2, possibly better. I think that you have a chance to go 3-1. Then you've got the Jets. Yeah, you got the Jets. So, in worst case, you should be 3-2 through the first 5. 3-2 minimum. After the Jets, you got the Panthers. You should be 4-2 at a minimum the first 6 games. This is the perfect scenario for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to tell you why it is. Because you're going to have Overshown, and you're going to have Diggs that are going to be coming in some point in the season. And having your cake games early to build up some confidence, build up some momentum, and build up some belief in your coach, and then to be able to get back 2 quality players would be huge to go down the stretch. You should be 4-2 through the first 6 games. Then you got the Commanders, okay? A lot of people think, oh man, you got no chance against the Commanders. Hello? The Commanders-Cowboys split the games. And it was a close game, the last one that we played with them. And that was with Cooper Rush for both games. So I think you can beat the Commanders. Maybe you don't. Maybe you split. Either way, you got the Commanders. First 7 games ain't that bad so far. Now, after that, you got Broncos. Now, the Broncos, good team. You're playing in Mile High. Tough place to play. Don't know. But I'm not going to say that the Broncos are head and shoulders ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. Not going to say that. Of course, you don't want to play them in Denver, but you got to, Mile High. But at least it's not really late in the season where it's frigid, okay? After the Broncos, you got the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals sometimes have, well, no, it's not sometimes. The Cardinals, for whatever reason, on the road, we always have a tough time with. But you can't look at the Cardinals and say, they're a team that's better than we are. You definitely have it in the quarterback with Dak Prescott. After the Cardinals, we got the Raiders. For some reason, at the moment, you start saying the Raiders. The Cowboys should be on the winning side of winning with this. You got the Raiders right there. Definitely the Raiders, a team in flux. Although they did get Geno, they do have Pete Carroll. You know, that's going to make them a much better team than the way they've been. But they're in a rebuild mode as well. After that, this is where the schedule gets to be murderer's row. Because then you got the Eagles on Sunday, and then you got Kansas City on Thanksgiving. Eagles, Kansas City, and then you have, the mini bye there, of course. You got the Lions, and then the Vikings. This is the meat of the schedule. This is where you have to man up. And the Cowboys, hopefully, they're stocking some wins early because this is where it gets to be tough. Again, you've got the Eagles on Sunday, and then you're playing at home on Thanksgiving against Kansas City. You're playing the Lions the following week, and then the Vikings. Now, you will at least have kind of the mini bye on one of those games. I can't remember if the Lions game is that Thursday night game or if it's going to be a Sunday game. So you either have a mini bye between the Lions and the Chiefs or a mini bye between the Lions and the Vikings. Definitely will be helpful. I think the Vikings are going to come back down to earth. After that, you've got the Chargers, of course, and then you got the Commanders and you got the Giants. And so looking at this, and again, I've got this thing starting in 15 minutes. Hopefully I'll get there on time. Looking at this, I can see 10 wins. I can see 10, 11 wins in the schedule. Not all of these teams that you think about being good last year are going to be good this year. I am not of the popular opinion that Washington is going to be great this season. Sorry, Momo. I think the Commanders come back down to earth. I think the schedule that the Eagles have, they are going to be punched in the mouth over and over and over again. You got Cowboys, Kansas City, and the Rams, the first 3 out the box. I mean, and if the Eagles go through and start that schedule 3-0, then by all means, I will bow down. I will bow down to the Commanders if they can do that. But until that happens, no, not me. So that's what it looks like. Eagles, Giants, Bears, Packers, Jets, Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, Cards, Raiders, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. Tough schedule, but I don't think it's as tough as the Eagles. Yeah. Give me your thoughts below. I can read the comments while I'm in my meeting and things and respond to them. I just won't be able to shoot a video. All right, good people. That's what you got. Peace.